Sharing your work is something I think every designer should do. It can help you create better work, find new clients, and lead to all kinds of opportunities. When sharing interface or web design animations, you want to make the viewing experience as best as it can be. I like to do this with a simple fade animation that makes the shot loop seamlessly. This will make viewing it more than once more enjoyable because there are no hard cuts. Today I would like to show you how I make looping web design shots for Dribbble. It's really easy to do, so anyone can follow along. So with that being said, let's hop into After Effects and let's get started. So we're in After Effects now. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new composition. Composition is going to be 1600 by 1200 pixels because that's the ratio we need for a Dribbble shot. I'm going to go with 25 frames per second because that's the smoothest we can get by keeping the file size low. The duration doesn't really matter, we just need to see that that your animation fits inside of this duration. Background color doesn't really matter as well now. So we're just gonna press OK. So now we have our composition here. And the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna set a background color. The way I always do this is with a solid. So I'm just gonna go over to Layer, then New, I'm gonna choose Solid. And then I'm gonna choose this background color, it's darker blue. I'm gonna press OK. So now we have in our composition our background color set. And as you can see on the left side here, I already loaded in my my video, the animation I'm going to work with. And we're just going to drag that over here onto our composition. I'm gonna make sure it's centered. And as for now, composition wise, I just want to add a little bit of margin inside of here. So I'm just going to go into the properties here of my animation, click on transform. And then in the scale property, I'm just going to click and change it to around 90. So we have a little bit of breathing room around the animation. So now that our animation is inside of our composition, the first thing I'm going to want to do is rearrange the order. What I mean by that is that Dribbble takes the first frame of your video and uses it as a thumbnail for your shot. So if you would look at what the first frame would be here, it would be just a white or a gray background, and it wouldn't really be appealing to click on. So I'm just going to go over here to the part where the most appealing part of the shot would be, and that's here where the design is fully in frame. So I'm going to split this layer here, and I'm going to do that by pressing Command, Shift and the letter D. So it splits the layer here. I'm just going to put this part at the beginning so that the first frame of our video will be the most appealing part right here. And if we play that back right now, we can see that it plays the complete animation, but there's a hard cut inside of where we rearrange the order. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to try and hide this hard cut that we just created. So the first thing we're going to want to do is press Command and the letter R to bring up the rulers, and we're going to put some rulers around here, around our animation inside the composition. So we're just going to scroll here to zoom in on the left top corner, and we're just gonna put some guides here like this. Gonna zoom out and go to the bottom right corner and do the same thing. Some guides here, gonna zoom out. So now we have rulers around our animation inside the composition. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make a new solid. So I'm going to Layer, New, Solid. And for the color of the solid, you want to pick the color picker, and you want to choose a color that you're going to fade towards. So for me, that's going to be the same color as the background of my animation. So I'm just going to click here, and then I'm going to press OK. And we're going to put this layer on the top. So with this layer now selected, we can choose the rectangle tool, and we can mask around our animation by going to the top left corner here of the rulers we just created and just dragging it down to the bottom right corner, like this. So now that we have set this, this new solid over our composition, we can see that it's just hiding everything right now. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go into properties of this, this solid, and we're going to go to the opacity, and we're going to turn it down to 0 so that we can see our shot again. And then we're going to go towards the part where we want to make the fade. So here is where our hard cut is. So I'm just gonna zoom in a bit. I'm gonna go towards the part where I want the fade in to start. It's going to be somewhere around here. And I'm just going to click on the stopwatch, and clicking on the stopwatch will create a keyframe. So on this keyframe, the opacity is set to 0. And now we're going to want to go towards where the hard cut is, and then we're going to put it to 100. And then we're going to go the same distance again, something like this, and then we're going to set it back to 0. So if we zoom out again and scroll back towards the beginning and play what we just made, just going to put this back to fit, then we can see that we just created a nice fading animation. So there's one thing left to do before we're going to export this, and it's I'm just going to put the work area, I'm going to slide it down towards the end of my animation. I'm just going to check if everything is looking right. So there's the loading animation, and then when it comes right around at the end of the work area, it should just loop. Alright, so it's looking good. So now I'm just gonna see it at the end here of my work area what the time is, and it's just 9 seconds. So I'm going to go to composition settings. I'm going to change the duration to 0900 like this. And then the only thing left to do is exporting. So I'm just going to go over to composition, add to Adobe Media Encoder Queue. And we're going to get it here. I always choose H264. It's an MP4 file. It's relatively low in file size. So I'm just going to click here to choose where I'm going to save. I'm just going to save it to my desktop save. And then we're just going to hit play. And then we just wait till it's exported. So there you have it. Now head over to Dribbble, upload your animation, give some additional info, and hit that publish button with full confidence. I'm far from an After Effects expert, by the way, so chances are there are better or faster ways to do this, but this is just how I do it. And if you would be wondering how you would pronounce my name, it's Gilles Huibrecht. I'm a designer from Belgium. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and I'll answer them. So that's it for me. Peace.